Somewhere between third grade lunch breaks to 12th grade deadlines, I lost someone very important. The loud, dramatic, curious, endlessly annoying, but beautifully honest. The one who used to laugh uncontrollably, the one who asked too many questions, the one who dreamed wildly, the child within me. Now, what exactly is this child within me? People often misunderstand it to be immaturity, foolishness, or even the child version of yourself that cried during maths exam. But no, it's definitely not none of these. Now, it stands for four significant things. Firstly, fearlessness. The version of you that said, yes, I will try, yes, I can do it, instead of, what if I fail? Second, curiosity. The version of you that asked why, when, who, how, what, instead of, what will people think about me? Third, imagination. The version of you that could transform cardboard boxes into a spaceship or pillows into a fort, rather than being a slave to Wi-Fi, 4K graphics, or in today's world, artificial intelligence. Lastly, authenticity. The version of you that did not edit yourself before you talk, before you dream, or before you live. Now, the child within you is not your past. In fact, it is your core. Think of it like Iron Man's arc reactor. You can upgrade it 1,000 times, but it will only be powered up with that spark within. Now, what exactly happened? How did we lose this voice inside us? Well, life happened. Expectations happened, comparisons happened, the fear of being judged happened, the fear of being looked at happened, the fear of being trying to fit in that big picture that the society wants to see you in happened. Now, we need to understand that growing up does not always mean growing dull. Growing smarter does not mean growing into someone quieter, into someone safer. Growing older does not mean growing out of yourselves. Now, I'll be honest with you. Back in grade 8, when I was appointed as a middle school head boy, initially I was naturally very, very excited, very confident to embark on my new leadership journey. But eventually, I started to realize that I was shrinking. Every word I spoke was measured. Every action I took was carefully judged and carefully calculated. But I started to realize that no, I'm not leading anymore. I need to reverse the effect that has taken place. And trust me, it does not happen overnight. It happens in the tiny acts. The small acts of encouragement, the small acts of courage, speaking what's truly on your mind, being fearless, being curious, being authentic is what is truly needed. And then I began to rise. When I became the deputy head boy in grade 11 and the current year head boy in my school, I was my true self. I reversed the effect successfully. But now I'll ask you a question. When was the last time you did something that made you happy, truly happy? Not because it was perfect, impressive, or productive, just pure happiness. When was the last time you dreamed wildly without jumping into the practicality of it? When was the last time that you listened to your inner voice before muting it down? The cost of losing the child within you is huge. And we need to understand that the truth is, we were never meant to silence this voice. The reason we did it is because the world makes us believe that we cannot be that version of ourselves anymore. Now, Steve Jobs calls it beginner's mind, Nolan calls it imagination, Disney calls it magic, but I call it home. We need to reawaken the inner child in us. We need to reawaken the voice that we silenced by ourselves. Now, how do you reclaim this voice? Well, you cannot run away from adulthood. None of us can. Neither you can change your entire personality overnight, right? It happens in the tiny acts. Now, what we need to do is we need to be purely happy. You don't need a reason to be happy, you never did. We need to experiment. Say yes to something every week in a good way. Be it different, out of your comfort zone, try something new. Because humiliation may be temporary, but regret, now that is permanent. You need to speak your heart out, you need to speak your mind out before your brain curates it into a boring PowerPoint presentation. Your voice is now to be reclaimed because I am going to bring it all home. We need to know that I'm sorry. Okay. It is not about being shied off. It is not about being in your nutshell. It's how you come out that is going to break your silence. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead.